Hi, today's brief lecture on physiology, that is blip, is on limbic system. In this session, we are going to discuss the components of limbic system, functions of limbic system, and at the end, one clinical application. Now you can see there are 7 components of the limbic system. The first and foremost, always you need to start with the hypothalamus. This is the center of all these components as well as the most important part of this limbic system. It plays a major role in terms of its interconnections with all these parts as well as other parts of the brain. So that is the reason we are starting the hypothalamus as head. It is actually number one part of the limbic system. Then you can see the septum, para-olfactory area, anterior nucleus of the thalamus, portions of the basal ganglia, the hippocampus, and finally the amygdala. Now, the functions are divided into vegetative functions of the limbic system, behavioral functions of the limbic system. These two are closely related. We'll explain that. And finally, endocrine functions of the limbic system. Now, we'll see the vegetative functions of the limbic system of the total brain, regulation of body temperature, regulation of osmolality of the body fluids, regulation of drives like eating and drinking behaviors to control body weight. All these regulation of vegetative functions are closely related to the regulation of behavior, or I can say emotional behavior or motivational drives. So first we'll take up the example thirst center, which is situated or located in the lateral hypothalamus. In experimental models, we can stimulate this area, that particular area of hypothalamus. Animal develops an intense desire to drink water. Then we will take up hunger center, that is also in the lateral hypothalamus. Animal, once it is stimulated, the animal will experience extreme hunger and also develop an intense desire to search for food. Then opposite in the experiment is, if this area is damaged on both the sides of the hypothalamus, then the animal will lose the desire towards food. Then satiety center, which is exactly opposite to hunger center, is located in the ventromedial nuclei of the hypothalamus. If it is stimulated electrically in experimental models, the animal that is eating food suddenly stops eating food and shows complete indifference towards food. Then how these vegetative functions are related to behavioral functions. So let us take the lateral hypothalamus, causes thirst and eating together as we discussed in the last 2 slides. Sometimes excessive stimulation may lead to rage and fighting behavior of the animal. For example, if some food component is taken away from the animal which is eating after 1 day of fasting, then it will show that rage as well as fighting behavior also. Then ventromedial nucleus, it will give you the sense of satiety and tranquility. If it is stimulated, it will give the possibility for tameness, it will be peaceful, it will show that tranquility. So these are some body postures and behaviors in relation to these two nuclei. So you can see on the left hand side the aggression posture and behavior, and I think no need to explain this. Then submission, you can see how it is, body posture is different from the aggressive posture, and the animal can be tamed and it will feel the tranquility. Now a different nuclei, the zone of periventricular nuclei leads to fear and punishment reactions. If that part is stimulated, the animal will exhibit all these reactions. Then anterior and posterior portions of the hypothalamus may result in sexual drive. Now, these reward and punishment areas are very much important so that animal will change its motivational drives as well as behavioral patterns also. For example, in this experimental model, the monkey is in the case and was given with the lever. If it is pressed, the lever is pressed, the circuit is complete, it will selectively stimulate particular area of the hypothalamus. So, for example, if reward center is stimulated, connected, then the animal will first accidentally touch the lever, it will feel the sense of reward and pleasure so that it will touch it again and again to complete the circuit. Whereas if it is connected to the punishment circuit, it will develop aversion after putting it for second or third time, so that it is not going to go towards the lever. Then this reward and punishment will play a major role in emotional behavior. Emotional behavior is all around bodily activities, our drives, aversions, motivations. Then this reward and punishment is going to play a major role in learning and memory. So animal builds up strong memory traces for sensations which are either in rewarding or punishment. For example, if a child is going to the school, if he feels that attending a class is extremely rewarding, if he gets chocolate every day, then he will have better memories. Exactly the same thing can be with punishment also. Then what material or what study material to be selected to learn is also depending upon the fear, the rewarding and punishment areas. So what to learn, from whom to learn is all depending upon the animal's feel of reward or punishment. Then last function of the limbic system is endocrine functions. All the endocrine glands are of course are controlled by the master endocrine gland, that is pituitary. But pituitary is in turn controlled by the hypothalamus. For example, if you take anti-pituitary, all the hormones of anti-pituitary are regulated by hypothalamic hormones, either in the form of releasing hormones or inhibiting hormones. In the same way, the posterior pituitary hormones are actually synthesized by the hypothalamus and they are released through the posterior pituitary. So, by discussing all those regulations, that is the endocrine functions of the hypothalamus. By controlling the master endocrine gland, that is pituitary, by the hypothalamus, we can say that limbic system is controlling endocrine functions of the body. Then the last and important one in the applied aspect is the Kluver-Bucy syndrome. In this case, the anterior parts of the both temporal lobes are destroyed in a monkey in an experimental model. So which removes amygdala also, resulting in the set of clinical conditions like the animal is going to lose fear. It is not afraid of anything, forgets rapidly, extreme curiosity towards everything so that it will place that object in the mouth, tries to eat solid objects and strong sexual desires. These similar lesions are also found in human beings, reported around the world, but it is very rare.